07 citizens, my name is Black and welcome to my channel CasaBLACK Gaming, a home where new players and old alike can find helpful guides and some honest and sometimes frank discussions about the game that most of us love and that some love to hate. And with the release of 4.0 there has been plenty of stormy weather, so to speak. But today I wanted to share a sliver of sunshine that made its way through as I was and have been playing in Pyro. Now those of you who follow me know that I just came off a whole slew of Stanton guides that were updated for 4.0, and my next mission objective was to head to Pyro, and that is exactly what I've been doing since 4.0.1 went live. I will have some smaller guides and tips coming very soon, but yesterday I happened to be out working on the Save Pyro event that is currently running, and for one, let me just say that my overall impression of 4.0.1 has been much more favorable than 4.0 when it released. I've had quite a few great play sessions this week in particular with some minimal issues like elevator doors not wanting to open at Ruin Station after calling out my ship, or weird fuel issues when crossing server boundaries, etc. All of which is well documented on the issue council and social media alike and was actually talked about yesterday in the ISC. But I have had zero problems completing the first 4 of 6 missions for Save Pyro, at least this first phase. I haven't started the second phase just yet. Now yesterday was my 4th mission that prompted me to put this video out. I will of course be narrating over my playthrough as I grabbed the footage, but was not mic'd up to talk as I played. But as soon as I saw this mission was different than the other 3, which were just me being a sniper at an outpost, I started collecting footage and wanted to share it with you guys because I see this particular contract overall as a success and a great direction the game is going in. So let's go ahead and get to it. So as I just said, this contract was completely different, and I didn't know it was going to be different until I actually arrived, which up until then the contract had just stated to arrive at an outpost near Last Landings. Now I had been to Last Landings a few times to refuel when I'm out at Terminus, so I figured it was just like one of those other outdoorsy outposts that have enemies patrolling outside and sometimes in the buildings. Now if I'm being honest, while I've had no problems completing the contracts for the events that prevented me from completing them, I have run into some NPCs who are slow to awaken and only come after me once I've fired versus sensing me outright. This is probably also a good moment to mention that I'm not super great at FPS fighting and definitely not great at PvP in pretty much any game. Not that PvP played a part in this. It's just not my background though. But I still enjoy FPS on Star Citizen, even if I suck, and despite my shortcomings, I do like it better when the AI is on point. I did run into some really aggressive NPCs who followed me out to my ship on my 2nd or 3rd contract a few days ago, and they did flanking maneuvers, they threw grenades, and they sent the hounds after me, but I didn't have any footage of that, so I can't really show it. Anyway, so this time the contract was pointing me toward a cave opening on the side of the outpost that I think I've actually done a contract here before, and I was thinking this might be a mistake or a bug, like maybe the contract was showing the guys were underground or something by mistake. I had no idea these outposts could also have caves at them, which is probably because most of my contracts have been at night and you can't really see anything. So I went into the cave and immediately knew this was different, so I turned on the footage at that point. Now I proceeded with caution because I could hear the Copians. In the caves that I know have enemy NPCs, to also know that Copians are there just added to the anxiety of the situation, especially as a first time into a cave like this. As I got closer to the sound of the Copians, which were in a hole and I knew was kind of hard to peer down into without being shot at if there was somebody down there, I did notice my first NPC, and I thought I would switch to my sniper since I had come mostly prepared to snipe, as had been the case with my previous 3 contracts. Now I knew my P4 ammo was limited, so I tried to snipe the guy thinking I had the drop on him, but nope, he fired at me and then he also threw a grenade. I thought I had brought grenades with me, but I had changed my armor before heading out and had forgot to attach any, so there was some confusion on my part and a little chaos, but luckily I recovered. I went back and took out the few guards and the Copians in that hole. Then I began making my way around to find the best way down to where they had been. Again, I was unfamiliar with this cave, and so I wanted to be cautious because the last thing I wanted to do was take a wrong step and end up getting hurt or worse. Now I did run into another enemy, and there might have been some shooting through the cave going on here, and then another grenade seemed to knock me back. Now I feel like we might need some sort of visual or audio cue for when grenades are thrown, and maybe there was something, but I missed it if there was. I didn't die, and honestly the danger added to the excitement of the contract contract, but this could be an issue and needs to be addressed, especially if they can throw grenades or shoot through rocks or walls, which I know they can shoot through walls in some instances. Alright, so after that I checked the bodies as I went because of course I needed ammo for my P4. I looted what I could, including the Copian horns, which is both kind of disgusting and satisfying all at the same time. Now in MMOs we kill tens of thousands of animals and collect furs, hides, teeth, eyes, whatever, and it's kind of different because it's just an icon that pops up on your screen showing it went into your bag. But these physicalized animals in Star Citizen, you are actually removing their horn and you can see what you have removed in a very real way. It's just another thing that makes Star Citizen different and something I'm still not quite used to, so it's kind of conflicting, but overall it is what it is. Now keep in mind this is coming from the same person who tweeted to Elliot that we should get to do organ harvesting missions where we take freshly wounded or dead corpses to a black market trader and get paid. So yeah, I'm not that stuck on it. Anyway, after looting I did explore my surroundings a bit before heading toward the arrows directing me deeper into the cave. Now I was looking for more loot boxes which were pretty scarce, and also to see if any minables were around. Not that I remembered to bring a mining attachment, something I was kind of regretting at this point. If I had run up on some Janelite though, I might have had to come right back after securing the contract and of course a mining head. Now seeing there was nothing to loot except some ammo and medical boxes, I decided to push on. I hopped onto the ledge and made my way deeper, and I soon came upon a door which was different, and I suddenly wondered if this cave somehow was attached to some of the buildings overhead. This door being in the cave felt like some real lost shit if I'm being honest. So anyway, I opened the door and saw an NPC and took him out. There was some desync, but it was in my favor thankfully. Then something happened I had not yet seen. Another NPC came running over to try and heal the bastard. I killed him too. I killed another, and then a Copian peeked around the corner and then it ran back. Now, like a good boy, I followed and then saw it standing with his back turned, so I shot it in the ass, but that didn't really kill it, and it turned and came after me, and they were pretty fast. I thought it had damaged me, but luckily either the server gods were being nice or my moves were just that good. Now I heard more Copians and knew there was still more enemies since the percentage was only at 47. Here's where the NPCs faltered and should have been a little more aggressive and not waiting on me to shoot as they had been on my third contract. And had they been, I probably would have been downed. Instead, the guy I just killed had been patrolling instead of seeking me, and the next Copian I killed should have been running toward me instead of coming to them. They still came at me after I shot, but still they need to be more alert after shots are fired and be seeking you out. So at this point I had markers. Now I'm on the fence about the markers, as I know many are. I guess they don't matter since we will one day have FPS scanning and we'll be able to ping to see targets, but of course that will have a trade-off where it alerts them to our presence as well, and with all the bugs still in these contract types with NPCs, it is nice to be able to seek out and find those last couple of NPCs who could be stuck in a wall or underground, so you don't waste too much time. But on the other hand, it does make it too easy. I did look in the game settings to see if there is a way to turn them off for those who want more of a challenge, but I didn't see an option to do that. So if any of you know where it is, if we can do it, then just leave a comment down below and that would be super appreciated. So with the markers now giving away their positions, I made my move, killing one, and then another I missed. Now this NPC did try to save their teammate, which I'm not sure that logic should have fired over trying to kill me. Again, they still need to work on that, but it is nice to see they're trying to get their teammates up, and if they figure out how to use those med guns or a tractor beam to move their teammates closer, we're all pretty screwed. Now another Copian came at me and their AI has definitely improved, but their hits did not register on me, and that is something that needs to be looked at as well. They should not have killed me, but maybe knocked the gun out of my hand or gotten a couple of bites to take my life down. Hell, a bleed attack on me or puncturing my suit so it becomes unstable would also be incredible and dangerous. Now again, I attempted looting because I needed more P4 ammo, and the loot screen is still slow, and I normally go back to the old style screen because it is much more reliable to shift click items that I want. I then went out to face off against the last few enemies. Now I made a mistake here of not equipping the ammo that I had been looking for and got, and it almost cost me here in a moment. What should have been a simple Copian kill, and let me tell you, they need to let us make armor from their hides because they can take a hit and keep on coming. My P4 ran out of ammo, and so I clumsily switched to my sniper to finish it up close. I know it was embarrassing, but it worked, but not before the remaining enemies' AI decided to wake up and come on after me. Now I somehow managed to not die, and the P4 finally reloaded from my backpack, so thank goodness that worked. And yeah, I got a med pen off and finished off the last guy and saved myself from humiliation and a heart attack and completed the mission. I did look around after the contract was done to see if there was any loot other than what was on the bodies, and I gotta say that the loot is really my main gripe with these new and even the older outposts in Stanton. I mean, you take out a bunker of enemies, and sure, the payout is nice, but it's the loot that makes doing these become addictive. Now, I want rare armor and weapons, even if it's not the better stuff like we have in contested zones, but just more of the subscriber flare items that we're supposed to be able to find out in the wild. Even during events like Luminalia and the current Red Envelope event, where we're supposed to be able to find those, they're still hard to come by. There really is no reason for the game to be stingy with loot, and so if any devs are watching, I really hope we can find more than a couple of med boxes at the end of a cave contract. Even if it was some minables in the cave, that would make it worth it. If it weren't for the event pay, this would not have been worth the trip, other than the rep that you get, and even with credits, there's only so much in game you can do with those. I cannot buy special items at stores like with Reputation using credits because they are only found out in the wild, so hopefully the loot gets a lot better. Anyway, after the contract, I flew to Ruin Station to get my tier 3 injuries looked at, and that was pretty much it. I did very much like this new setting. I very much enjoy the event contracts. I look forward to when we can share them with our party members again, as I do like going solo sometimes, but again, I do like to work with others, and that has proven to be a pain lately. If CIG can get the performance and the AI working a tad bit better, these contracts are going to get a lot more interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, if you like what you've seen and have visited my channel before, why not go ahead and click that subscribe button and like the video and leave a comment on your experiences with the new contracts in Pyro. Tell me which faction you did and how you like it. You can also join us over on Discord, where like-minded citizens come together and discuss the game that we all love and sometimes loathe at the same time. It's a fair place where we can be honest about the good and the bad, and no one is judged for it, even if you hate purple or misc ships. Anyway, keep it positive out there as you make your way through the verse, and take care, everyone.